Hello everybody, my name is Alice and this channel is called Alice's Life. For every month in 2021 I have been making these videos all about what I've been reading that month. So if you want, you can subscribe and you'll see the videos coming up in October, November and December. And please remember to thumbs up this video if you enjoy it. The first book that I read this month was called The 24-Hour Cafe and it was by Libby Page. I didn't read her first book, The Lido, but I really enjoyed this book following what it was like in a 24-hour cafe in the centre of London. It followed the story of two girls who did acting and drama and dance at university, and they were trying to get into that market, but they were nearing their 30s and it was becoming increasingly difficult. So they were doing these 12-hour shifts. So it covers their life and backstories as well as the different customers that came into the cafe for pancakes, coffee, sandwiches and that sort of thing, and also the chefs. And I really enjoyed it because I've previously worked in a hospitality environment and it was really good to see, and it's kind of like the friendship between the two girls and what happens was really good, and I enjoyed that book a lot. Next I read Little Woman. So this is a great classic. I've read it 2 times and it's good for seeing what life was like in America in the 1800s for young women, but I just find it a little bit boring. I know it's kind of aimed at a younger audience, and I really did enjoy the 2020 latest Little Woman film, but this book is just a bit slow moving and there's not much emphasis or description around Beth's death. It kind of like washes over that and moves on to other things, but it's okay. Quite a quick book, it's quite easy to read. Well, the language is a little bit difficult, but it's okay. I read a book called How to Speak Emoji. I actually bought this from a charity shop as a gift for someone, but I wanted to read it before I gave it to them. Not really sure. I like the dictionary bit at the beginning, although the emojis were slightly different because I've got a Samsung phone and I know they're different with Apple and other companies. There are a lot of like sexual things and also weird sayings that I think were American. So I wasn't really keen on that book and I wouldn't really recommend it, but I've gifted it to someone as planned and I haven't really heard what they think about it yet. Then I read a book called If I Never Met You. This is similar to a couple of books I've read earlier in the year. It was all about staging a romance. So this woman's partner of 18 years sort of left her, and then she wanted to pretend or fake a relationship with the office hottie. So they did that over Instagram and social media and Facebook, and they staged all these pictures going out for posh meals and things, and people didn't really believe it, but then in the end they fell in love. Anyway, it's a bit slow moving, kind of predictable. Like, I know it's meant to be a good rom-com, but I didn't really find it that great. I was kind of forcing myself to finish it now I'd started it. Next I read a book that is called The Girl Who Reads on the Metro. So this is an international bestseller all about a woman that catches the metro train in Paris, and she enjoys reading and likes oogling at what other people are reading, and then she actually meets this man who goes around gifting books to people, so she quits her job and goes and helps with his whole mission to gift books to random people. It's just a bit of a weird, strange concept. I wanted to like it because of all the hype, but I didn't actually like it, or I didn't really get into it that much. After this, I read a book called As You Were. It was written in 2020 by an Irish author. The style of writing was a little bit tricky to get into because I think she's originally a poet, so the writing was all a bit waffly, but I did actually get into it quite a lot and it was really interesting. So it's all about this woman or mother that gets cancer but doesn't tell anyone, so she's stuck in hospital, and I think it's a bit unbelievable that her husband doesn't understand why she's in hospital. Anyway, so she meets these people in hospital, gets on with things in hospital, and it's a bit of a weird book. But I think I actually really enjoyed that one. The next book I read was by Laura Whateley, and she wrote it in 2018. It's a book called Money, A User's Guide. I really enjoyed this book. I found it a bit hardcore to read because I decided to make a heap of notes, like the geek that I am. So I think there's like 15 pages of notes, which is ridiculous because they're all colours, like I was revising for a test. But anyway, really good because it had all the definitions, like what is a tracker mortgage and things like that, all concise. I found the book a bit awkward because it's so small. you can't push the sides down and put something on. It's quite hard to keep it open without it flipping closed while I was making this heap of notes. But I really enjoyed the book. It was really good. It was a really good reference. It was written in 2018, so I think some things would be a little bit out of date, but it's still really good. But after reading that, I'm majorly panicking because she says that by the time you're 30, you should have £20,000 savings in your pension. So I'm panicking because I'm now 27 and I do not have £20,000 in my pension. I don't know if I failed. I just don't see how you can save that much. Because I only finished my PhD last year and I wasn't even thinking about my pension. Now I've got an employer's pension, but there's only £250 in there, I think. And then a previous employer, I've got £35 in that one. And now I'm just thinking I don't have enough in my pension and I'm going to be poor. But I just think I'm more focused on saving up money to buy a house. Do I really need to save £20,000 just for a pension when I might die as soon as I reach my pensionable age? So I've been having this discussion with people and they said they don't care because they might die and it won't bother them if they've lost all that money. But then I would care. And then other people, I don't know, I've just been discussing this with a lot of people and majorly panicking about my pension. So that book has actually stressed me out. I read a book called Summer by Annie Smith. There's been a lot of hype about this. I've read about it in the newspaper and magazines, but I didn't really like it. It was all about a brother and sister and their relationship. Probably I would have liked it more if I actually bothered to read the first 3 in the series of 4 to make up the full 4 seasons of the year instead of finishing on summer or starting on summer, which should be the 4th book. But I didn't really like it and I'm not going to rush out and read the other 3. I wanted to like it because there was a lot of hype about it though. Then I read a really great thriller called That Night. I liked it that it was about 3 siblings that all lived together in a terraced row of houses in an isolated part of the countryside, and they worked in the same family veterinary practice, and they all had a holiday home in Italy. So there was a murder or an accidental killing, so it kind of followed that story. I really enjoyed that book, and last month I read a book by the same author which I also really enjoyed, How to Disappear. So I think I'm going to go and investigate more books by this author because she's someone that I really like. I read a book called 11 Lines to Somewhere. I read this all in one day because it was quite a compelling, engaging read. It's a bit of a weird sort of mental health story about this woman that loses her job and then she's just stuck on the underground, and her anxiety or OCD means that she can't get off the underground, and then this other man on his way to work keeps noticing her, and then he tries to catch the same underground train as her so he can sort of watch her, and then he follows her, but then he doesn't know where she's going because she's always going to different places as she's confused. And then eventually, after months of this stalking behaviour, he finally catches up with her and speaks to her, and it kind of turns into a romantic love story sort of thing, and he tries to help her. Well, they move in together and he tries to help her get over her issues with not being able to get off the underground. So I actually quite like that book. It was an interesting story about mental health and love. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see the next video like this, and bye.